Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our in-depth discussion on DEXs, and today we're going to be exploring the latest trends and developments within this area. So the world of decentralized exchanges is changing, of course, and it's offering us new opportunities and challenges in the crypto space. And as more users and investors turn towards the decentralized platforms, we need to understand the defining characteristics and emerging trends, as well as the future potential of DEXs. And today we're joined by a super cool panel of experts who will share their insights and experiences in it. The first one to begin today, it's going to be Christoph from MC Squared Finance. He's a key player in decentralized financial solutions. Hi, Chris.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Exciting to be here on the space.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Chris, give us a little bit of an intro of who you are, what you've done in the space. We'd love to know your crypto journey.
Sure, happy to do that. I'm actually a developer since more than 20 years, built up the first German-speaking newspaper ever on the internet, then became an Web2 entrepreneur, built and exited two startups, and the Web3 space since about 5 years now, several fractional leaderships from layer ones, projects, and advisory of funds. And since 1.5 years, building up Ancestor Finance, where we help users with analyze, discuss, and invest in Web3. So if you do not have the right analytics, how can you make the right decisions for your wallet? We treat your wallet like an investment thesis. You can then share all of your assumptions on-chain verified. So whatever people see, people know that you speak the truth. And then you can trade it in an intent-driven way where you only need to tell the goal on multiple chains, and our engine figures out how to get the assets that you wish for.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Christoph. We're super excited to hear what you have to say on today's topic. Moving on to the next guest for today, it's Dmitry Klim. He's the Chief Business Development Officer at ColoHub, and he's very well known for his strategic vision in the crypto ecosystem. Hi, Dmitry. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Amazing.
Actually,
Thank you.
for me, it's going good as well. It's beautiful Thursday, so gonna be really happy to talk a little bit today. And yeah, when it comes to myself, right now we're building the hybrid wallet with the amazing opportunity of connecting any of your token balances to your crypto card and just go and pay for your daily goods with the crypto card. And we're also doing some B2B thing that I will still want to keep quiet for now.
Awesome. Thank you for the intro, Dmitry. We're going to be excited to hear about you dropping the news later. We also have here Nitesh Mishra. He's from DEX, and he's an expert in decentralized exchange operations. Hi, Nitesh. How are you?
Hey, thanks a lot for having me here. So I'm Nitesh, and already as mentioned, I'm the co-founder of DEX. So we enable protocol-to-protocol transfer of tokens without using any bridging solution or wrapping of the tokens, or without holding any asset at any given point of time. And I've been in this industry since past 5 years now. And interoperability is one of the things that we are looking to solve, and something that I'm known for. Been advising few of the Web3 startups since past 2 to 3 years. Also have been a teacher, a mentor for postgraduate diploma students, and certify them for blockchain development. And yeah, been a serial entrepreneur throughout my life. And yeah, this is something I'm really excited to work. So Chidex is something to look forward to. Thanks a lot for having me here.
Thanks a lot for joining us. All right, so our next speaker that we have here, it's Yoris, and Yoris is a head of community at ZK Panther, and he's a leader in building vibrant and engaged crypto communities. Hi, Yoris. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Hey everyone, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I'm the head of community at Panther Protocol. For the ones that don't know Panther, we are a smart contract privacy infrastructure, something similar, well, kind of similar to, for example, Tornado Cash or Railgun or Penumbra, but we have additional compliance mechanisms in place to support KYC, KYT, rate limits. Uh, and other things. So that's in a nutshell what we are doing. Recently, we were also being featured on Delphi Digital on a research article about dark pools. If I had to summarize our infrastructure, it basically comes down to that. It's kind of related to Vitalik Buterin's privacy pools paper. And yeah, we have been building this infrastructure for the last 3 years or so, and we are right now at the end of our testnet. So that's a TLDR from my end. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to the panel itself.
Thanks for joining us, Yuris. We also have another speaker that's joining us today. His name is Vladislav. He's the CEO and a co-founder at Dollar Wallet, and he's a pioneer in secure and user-friendly crypto wallets. Hi, Vlad.
Hello, guys. Thank you for inviting. I will be glad to discuss centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So what are like latest trends and developments? So, because we also integrated to a wallet like the best decentralized solutions. So we now like recent years we have seen like some kind of new protocols as the Graph and others as Jupiter, and what like how they want to compete with the old schools guys as 1inch and others. So I would be glad to have a nice discussion.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Vlad. Guys, let's dive into our discussion now. And before we do that, I'll just give you a couple of rules that we follow here. I'm going to address a question to each one of you. However, if someone else wants to follow up or add on, or you disagree with the previous speaker, please go ahead and raise your hand. We really want everyone to contribute, and just to distribute a fair chance, I'm going to be asking you single questions, but fear not, you're more than welcome to raise your hand and add, even though it wasn't your question. All right, so moving on to our first speaker, Christoph, can you start off by explaining the key characteristics that define the decentralized exchange and how they stand apart from their centralized counterparts?
The sure. The core thing for a decentralized exchange is that it's like permissionless, that you have it deployed as smart contracts on chain where you can switch assets and use different decentralized products inside of the application. Like permissionless means that the DEX itself does not own any assets that it's operating on. It's only owned by the user itself. And compared to centralized exchanges, where on a centralized exchange, the exchange itself has custody over the assets and allows through their proprietary interface to trade these assets on their platform. And in theory, it means that when a centralized exchange has a big problem, then your assets are gone. If in a decentralized world, even if the protocol is not existing, then you still have your assets and can operate your assets because the smart contracts basically live forever. In practice, we see that there's a lot of issue with this assumption, as not every code is perfect. It's created by humans. And so there's a ton of problems to figure out first before these DeFi and DEX strategies are actually in the quality that the user demands. But in the end, in a decentralized world, you have your own keys. And therefore, if you work with a decentralized exchange, you always have constant access to all of your assets.
Wow, that's a very deep explanation of it. Thank you so much, Christoph. Now we know. Dmitry, what are the latest trends and innovations that we are currently shaping within the DEX environment. Do you see anything happening that wasn't there before? What wave are we currently riding?
Hey, yeah, actually, they're like I just really see that Dexes are following up with Texas a lot right now, and basically we just see how decentralized exchange is getting more and more useful for the final customer. So what I can underline right now is more and more Dexes integrating layer two solutions in order to enhance scalability and reduce transaction costs. Because as we know, while trading on Dex, you pay tons of gas fees, and actually with L2 solutions it's just getting more and more cost efficient for the final trader. What I can also say is that it's getting more and more into cross-chain trading. Is getting easier to actually trade between two different chains right now, and more technologies are actually being brought to decentralized exchange markets to actually help it be kind of easier for the final customer. Also, like we see more and more automated market makers being present and basically just making the cost determination easier, and to help with snipers to actually kind of equal the prices among all the dexes out here. And of course, dexes are getting more regulated, so right now it's not treated as something out of this world no more, and you can basically just trade on dex and still report your finances to some tax authorities and feel kind of legit in the traditional finance world. Yeah, mainly this is what I think of, and of course we cannot forget about copy trading options. I heard that some dexes are right now implementing copy trading option, which is just the same thing as we have on centralized exchange. So in general, I just track the trend of dexes being more and more similar to Texas, which I cannot be less happier about.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. This is a very insightful panel discussions. We find out more and more with every word. Yoris, let's come back to the user. Could you explain the benefits and the drawbacks that users face when they're choosing DEX over centralized exchanges? What is their psychology? What is their process thinking when they
Yeah.
choose one over another?
Yeah, sure thing. I also want to echo what Dimitri just said. Decentralized exchanges are indeed kind of becoming more and more like centralized exchanges. And we can also see a bunch of very clear trends here since the beginning of this year. For example, the trading volume dominance of DEX aggregators compared to DEXs is increasing significantly. I think it's almost up to 25% right now. So that's definitely significant. And to me, that says two things. A, that the future is multi-chain. And B, that decentralized exchange users prioritize their user experience. And and I think that's really, really important for projects that are building DEXs or dark pools or infrastructure or cross-chain solutions. And that's something that I wanted to share here. And coming back to your question, as in the psychology kind of things, I really think that it comes down to the user experience, and there's still a few challenges that are still unsolved. For example, MEV, and also something that we are working on here at Panther, and that's privacy. And for the ones that are not familiar with the concept of MEV, it's basically the maximum value block producers that block producers can obtain by including, reordering, or excluding when they produce a new block. And it has a bunch of cons. For example, sandwich attacks and consensus instantability. And sandwich attacks basically means that people are playing attackers are playing arbitrage with manipulating the orders and the price and the profit from the user. If I have to specify that further, that basically means that the attacker is buying a token at a cheaper price and sells it within the same block at a higher price. And that goes at the cost of the user, meaning that it goes at the cost of the user experience, right? And that's something that can only happen on a transparent ledger. I think that we are seeing this very often within the Ethereum ecosystem, but also on other chains. And privacy preserving infrastructure can offer a solution there. And aside from that, it solves MEV cases. Privacy also comes with additional benefits, such as protecting a trader's alpha and what Dimitri said, as in copying trading strategies, for example, or portfolio strategies. Long story short, ways that people make money through exchanges can also be prevented because the data is private. And I think that that's very important, perhaps not for the smaller users, but imagine if you are a huge institution and you have a significant workforce and capital allocated to protecting your alpha and defining new trading strategies within the decentralized web, and then everyone can basically copy that. I think they're not going to be so happy about it. So I feel that institutions, but also the bigger users, are definitely eager to protect their alpha and look for privacy solutions, and also to protect their basically prevent MEV attacks from happening. So that's that's basically me thinking out loud here, I think that sums it up.
Thank you so much, Joris. Nitesh, let's talk about the community engagement and governance mechanisms that are playing a role within the success and sustainability of DEX platform. What do you think are the critical mechanisms there?
So I particularly think that a DEX is supposed to be run by not just by the people who have founded or have basically started the idea, but also by the people who are essentially using it. So today, if I have to talk about it, today India, one of the biggest Indian exchanges was hacked. I mean, it definitely was a centralized exchange, not a DEX. But at the very same time, it basically brings back the load on DEX, how the DEX is being operated, what are the security measures that DEX is basically taking, and is it involving the very people who are using that particular DEX. So, in order to secure the exchange, or in order to take decisions in the exchange, or at least have an opinion about how the exchange is supposed to secure the assets of their users. First of all, in your very first question itself, what are the essential features of a DEX? So DEXs are usually built on protocols. That's the very first thing. But for the DEXs that are not meant to be only for one single protocol, like for example, ChaiDEX, I'm not trying to promote, but it is what it is. So in case of ChaiDEX, I can speak, we are a chain agnostic decentralized exchange. Now, when I say decentralized exchange, this means that I actually cover all the points of not holding custody of anybody's asset. Second, making sure that swaps are happening on chain. And third, at the very same time, maintaining the anonymity and transparency of the users. And as I think Yoris just explained, like why would people, especially institutional players, would love to move to DEXs is because they have a vested interest in protecting their anonymity, and also at the very same time, I think they also are worried about the transparency. So when we have such a diverse set of people, or a diverse set of users, like retail investors, institutional investors, or investors from all aspects of life, then why not let them have a voice on our platform as well? So this is one of the reasons where dexes are performing better, and are craving a niche in the market. When we talk about DAO implementations of the DAO, or making people or making community understand what they stand for, and at the very same time letting community speak about their concerns while using their platform. I'm pretty sure there'll be quite a lot of emphasis on the user implementation, like how the UI will look, how the UX will happen, how the user experience should flow. But at the very same time, the same user will also think about how the security will be taken care of. So I personally believe, involving community, or at least people who are essentially your users, and giving them voice is the very main aspect. Having said that, what usually DEXs do is, they try to have a DAO kind of ecosystem. If not DAO, then some sort of mechanism where, they make sure that, via staking or via having a referendum model or some sort of model, they try to implement it and try to bring in the people in the ecosystem, let them have their voice, which I've never seen in, I think, almost any of the centralized exchanges, if I have to be very honest. And this is what is finding the center stage today. This, will become, or I think has already become a centerpiece of most of the DEXs out there, that they actually want their community to speak and they want them to be a part of their community, sometimes in their developing community as well. So, I mean, this is what I am watching, and even we are trying to implement it in our exchange. And I'm pretty sure quite a lot of people here would agree with me that this is what even they are looking forward to implement. So yeah, community definitely plays a very important role, but your users are also the biggest supporters of your community. Let's give them the voice they deserve, and let them have the voice in securing our platform as well.
Thank you so much, Nitesh. These are some very, very good points that I think we're all agreeing with. All right, let's move on to Vlad. Vlad, could you tell us your opinion on the factors that are driving the adoption of DEX among traders and investors in a crypto space? What, in your opinion, makes it so lucrative?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, fear. So people are fear after FTX sells to Centraris capital crashes. When they crashed, like everybody understood like what is like centralized exchanges. When it doesn't it doesn't matter how much money have you earned if like all of this will be stolen. So FTX so FTX and all these things like billions of losses. So that's why after FTX we saw like decreasing of centralized exchange share, market share, and increasing of decentralized exchange market share. So and now like of course like users still use and will use centralized exchanges, but most of efficient and advanced users will go to decentralized solutions despite slippage, lack of liquidity, and all these things around. So personally, me also like I move like 80% of my trades to decentralized exchanges. Yeah, even like understanding like so they're not so good. Yeah, so and the second thing, that profit. So first fear, second profit. You will not earn money anymore on centralized exchanges. I mean, you will not receive like next Jupiter airdrop or Uniswap if you will using centralized exchanges. Um, so historically, um, you receive airdrops from using some decentralized DeFi decentralized any kind of new protocols, and recent like for this year, one of the biggest airdrop from Jupiter. So you just needed to use Jupiter and um, receive like a lot of money. So it could be from $200 to 100K. So if yeah, so this is profit. That's why like people understood like so they're trying any kind of new protocol. Third one, yeah, was second, and the third one that like UX UI became better. So all like Uniswap. So in Uniswap now you have like limit orders. In Jupiter you can even like have perpetual DEX and launchpad, and the graph DEX, as I understood, as like hybrid mode. So now we see even like hybrid modes of protocols. They trying to use much more efficient centralized advantages and decentralized advantages. So a lot of opportunities in crypto as everywhere. After bear market and bull market, we see like some new kind of features protocols. So that's why this is for me main things why people are moving from moving to decentralized world. And I'm very happy with it and glad to be a part of it and to build best infrastructure and to use best protocols as yeah, to integrate best protocols and to provide users some infrastructure for it. Yeah, mobile wallets and mini apps. So we saw like so now like age of mobile, everything mobile and much more efficient, and a lot of teams they implemented some solutions to mobile, and I also expect much more cool protocols in Telegram mini apps. So now it's more about tone, but I assume that will be a lot of like protocols on Solana, Ether, L2s on mini apps. So people around the world will be able not only to download some applications from stores, but also just to open them in Telegram. And they will not see all the tech stuff behind it. Yeah, this is like main three things that helped.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vlad. Thank you for sharing your view on it. Christoph, I'll come back to you and I'm going to ask you if there are any new opportunities or niche markets within the DEX spaces that you find especially exciting or promising, something that's worth talking about.
I think there are always new opportunities. Now we see as the market mature that DEXs start to specialize more. Like 2 years ago, it was find a new chain that didn't have a DEX, let's quickly launch their clone, and that was your business. Nowadays is much more, okay, where can I find my personal niche? We see that DEXs either go into the user area, what we talked about a lot now today, that you focus on community growth, have loyal people that you help explore DeFi, or the other strong part is going into focusing only on tech, focusing on aggregators, and actually not really focusing on a big community, rather only on the liquidity providers, because you make the revenues through the aggregation, through other things. So I think that's two very interesting distinctions that we have. Probably we need to reinvent more names or more special names for such types. In that, I think that Telegram apps are a great niche in the last months that we've seen growing up, especially around sniping and around MEV, so that you rather be early on new tokens, focusing, for example, on what are the newest tokens on the block and what actually is a token that you can trust is, I think, a very interesting topic that, for example, like DEX Screener with their integrations going forward. I think we will have more into radical simplicity and simplicity in DeFi. We see that there is in the direction of intent-driven trading, so cross-chain. There's a lot of things to do that actually users would need to further simplify it. But currently, we did not saw any good DEX that actually really managed to handle cross-chain extremely well, so position themselves as like a DEX for all the EVM chains. That's still rare, and I think that's a very interesting challenge currently.
You've got two follow-ups, one from Yoris and another one from Nitesh. Yoris, go ahead first, and then Nitesh will follow.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and thank you, Chris, for sharing that. What I wanted to share as well is that we indeed made a lot of progress within the centralized exchange space, not only technology-wise, but DEXs are on all kind of chains, and we're using stocks, basically everything. But one thing I feel that we are kind of forgetting are OTC deals, and that's still a way of that we could improve, as in interacting and transacting online through blockchain technology. And dark pools, for example, could improve the experience there as well. I think that, Chris, you mentioned Telegram, and I think that we are all aware of those scammy OTC Telegram deals, right? And to a dark pool, for example, those orders could be efficiently matched and they could be more secure and private. And I think that's something worth discovering. And yeah, I wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Nitesh.
Nothing, just a small follow-up as Chris and Yoris have actually covered the point that I wanted to, make before, and especially about the interoperability, as Chris has mentioned. The very best thing that, when we are trying to innovate, like for example, I already knew that there are going to be multiple dexes all around the ecosystem, all around the layer ones or the protocols, which will have their own ecosystem to to cater to their own audiences. This is where we came up with this kind of an idea, which is kind of working and is very beautiful. I would definitely love to invite all of you to once come and test it, once we are live, which is going to be next month. But the very interesting fact that I've seen with the dexes who are built on particular protocol is basically they're bogged down by the issues of the protocol or the limitations of the protocol. And this is where the idea of being a chain agnostic, for example, I cannot exactly apply for any grants on any of these L1s. The reason being because we're not built for one specific protocol or one specific layer 1 or layer 2s as they're growing in the market. We are basically built to cater to any side of the protocol. Like for example, we are still built on the product layer or the contract layer of almost all the chains. We basically try to solve the problem of virtual machines rather than the layer itself, so that the communication between two protocols becomes fairly simple, and still the users don't have to worry about the complexities. Like for example, and I know it's a bit radical thought that I'm going to put out here, if you really want to do a very, in a sense, like not like I wouldn't really love to put the word, but in a sense, if you really want to exchange your BTC with, let's say, Sol or Ethereum or Ethers, which are completely three completely different ecosystems built on three completely different virtual machines, with three complete different protocols, nothing in common. You can do that with the help of Chidex, an ecosystem that actually does not hold any of your custody. Just a follow up on that. And I am very much happy with what has been put forward by this panel today, because I see quite a lot of emphasis on interoperability, which is actually not 100% solved. And this is for the first time, for after so many days, or maybe after so many years, somebody's trying to make this narrative come mainstream, which, whereas nowadays in the mainstream you see all sorts of narratives which are not exactly meant to build a strong web3 ecosystem, but they're simply meant to sell web3 ecosystem to somebody who has money. That's it. Like the whole narrative was built on that, but not emphasizing on strengthening the web3 ecosystem. So I'm very happy that people are talking about it here, and thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you so much, Nitesh. Dmitry, I'm going to ask you a question. Although I think this is going to be the last question for our panel today. So if you guys want to share your opinion on it, you're more than welcome to do so too. Dmitry, how do you see the landscape of DEX platforms evolving over the next few years? Do you think we're going to see some rapid changes to it?
So, basically, I see that, as my colleagues previously mentioned, that cross-chain thing will be like the next big thing for Dexes. Right now, it doesn't work that good, so I just oversee in the upcoming year more like Dexes just working more properly on their cross-chain functionality to make it actually happening. Second thing that I think of is just greater adoption. We need to like there are more and more DeFi enthusiasts out there right now with all the staking abilities and with the whole thing that is running right now for DeFi. I just see more and more adoption for it. So I just hope that the awareness going to be spread even bigger and more people going to start using decentralized finance and actually learn about it more. um I think that also it comes to integration with traditional finance. We see more and more right now products such as ours, let's say, with custodial and self-custodial options are getting partnerships with DEXs and with DeFi protocols in general, which is awesome. And I see more connections for centralized crypto and decentralized crypto in the future. And of course, it comes more about advanced features on decentralized exchanges. Like, we need to have them as simple as centralized exchanges are, and maybe even bringing more kind of ease to your day-to-day trading. So like I'm just waiting for the day when professional traders who are day trading just gonna come and say that, guys, I can use this DEX as my daily platform just because it is as easy to use and as liquid as Binance, let's say, on some other centralized exchange. So yeah, just more liquidity, more traders, more functionality, and that's it. That's what I think of.
Thank you so much. Guys, if no one else has a follow up to this, I think this will be the time we'll be wrapping up our space. Once again, thank you so much for joining us and giving in your very honest opinion on how things are and where we are heading. Thank you so much for your time and energy. We'll be super happy to have you here in our next session. So, once again, thank you so much, and until the next time.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you,
Thanks a
everyone.
lot for being here.
Good day.
Don't forget